you, not the insurance company. Equitable public adjusters are not paid until you collect. If you're satisfied with your insurance settlement, great. But remember, Equitable public adjusters can report or reopen your claim. So what are you waiting for? Call Lenny at 561-843-4040 today.
And we're back. This is a new show that we're starting. We have so many homeowners, and we decided we got to have a public adjuster. And I know that there's a lot of you out there who don't even know what a public adjuster does. But I'm going to tell you something. This is the guy that's going to save you a lot. Let's put it this way. They're going to get you a lot more money than the insurance company wants to pay you. That insurance company is not your friend. And let me welcome you, Lenny Peixoto.
Good afternoon.
How you
Thanks
doing?
for having me.
Oh, man, I'm going to love this. This is going to be a once-a-month show. And let's tell everybody, first of all, you got a great website. I went to it. Really a great website. Go to www.equitablepublicadjusters.com. You can also call them. Write this number down. I'm telling you, with the way the weather's been, you're going to need a public adjuster. The number is 561-843-4040. First of all, we got so many questions for you. Tell everybody, first of all, about yourself and then about your company.
Sure. I've been handling claims for about 16 years now, primarily here in Palm Beach, Broward, Port St. Lucie, and the tri-state area. We handle mostly residential property claims, and we represent the homeowner and only the homeowner. So our job is to make sure that we give the homeowner the feel that is leveling by having an adjuster on their side when the adjuster is representing the insurance company on their side.
Tell people how you charge.
Yeah, good question. So in the state of Florida, public adjusters can only charge on a contingent basis, which means you're only able to collect a fee as a public adjuster if you collect money for your client, in this case, the homeowner. It's capped at 20%. Most claims that my firm handles is a little bit less than that, but every claim's different. So we want to be able to take that opportunity to meet with you and learn more about that claim.
Renee's sister, we think about leaks, water damage, those kind of things, but she had a problem with her flooring in her kitchen, and they couldn't match it up. They wanted to put just pieces in, piecemeal it, and I'm telling you, she finally brought a public adjuster in. This was about 5 years ago, and the public adjuster said, "You're not going to settle for this. You need to have all new tiling put in." And if it costs a lot, it does, but you don't just want to put just one or two pieces in. So the insurance company, they're not your friend.
Yeah, everybody knows they need to have insurance. It's a requirement. The mortgage requires it. And oftentimes I get calls and it's just, hey, I'm not sure what's going on here. It's wet here. The floor is popping there, or it's bubbling there. And I get there, discover exactly what the cause is, which is important because that cause is covered under the insurance policy in most cases, but yet the resulting damage from that cause, the leak, the roof leak from the rain most recently, fire, the theft, whatever it may be. And then from there, you're right. A lot of times the insurance company wants to make sure that, in their opinion, they pay for what they owe, but a smart, educated, trained public adjuster will push that limit, maximize that claim to ensure that they receive every benefit under that insurance agreement.
Does it surprise you that there's a lot of people who don't know what their home insurance covers?
Yeah, great question. And at times I'm a little set back that I still get calls from people that had no idea that I exist. But I'm fortunate for the call. I'm fortunate to make a customer out of that person, because that's really where it all begins, is another referral down the road.
Now, tell us, what areas do you cover? Dade, Broward, Palm Beach?
The idea is I'm state licensed, so of course anywhere. We have offices in the Tampa area, covering that area, Clearwater, St. Pete, that type of thing. And then my business is here in Palm Beach County, Broward, Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, so this is a 50,000 watt station, so we get Treasure Coast, Port St. Lucie. Actually, we've had people call us from Orlando, because it's a very big, powerful station here. So I've got tons of questions for you. Just tell people what the public adjuster does.
Yeah, so a public adjuster's job is, again, to represent that homeowner. So that public adjuster needs to meet with the homeowner, explain the process, the claims process, understand their needs, their wants, their concerns, And then if that public adjuster is hired, there's an agreement that's signed by the homeowner and the public adjuster that's then sent to the insurance company. At that point, the insurance company is bound to speak with the insurance public adjuster that's hired by the homeowner. So from there, we collect evidence, make sure that we present that claim in a way it's going to be covered from the insurance company, in a way that's going to be explained easily to the insurance company. So we meet with the adjusters, we write estimates, and we make sure that we document everything that needs to be documented. So again, we can maximize that claim.
Gosh, you know what? I'm listening to the show, and I went through my claim about 2 years ago, and I'm going, I bet you Lenny could have gotten me more.
It's
Can't
again very
you
possible.
come back in?
Yeah, so the statute is within 5 years. You can then again come back and look at your claim to ensure that you can reopen it. And I do that from time to time, but ideally you want to get a public adjuster involved when you first
You've
know
got to.
that a claim needs to be reported.
And, when should the public adjuster be brought in?
Yeah, so from the very beginning, ideally I'm not the one you want to call when the water's on the floor in the middle of the night. That's left for those professionals that clean that stuff up. But when you're ready to make that call to the insurance company, it's a good idea to give me a call. You can ask the questions over the phone, but ideally I want that invitation into your home so I could explain the process, look at the policy, make sure that there's coverage there because that's important, and then for you to get a feel that I'm the right person to make sure that I'm going to do the job that you want to be done.
So the first thing you want to do when you come in is look at their insurance policy.
Yeah, we want to look at that policy, make sure that the right type of policy is there for that claim. There's different types. Each carrier writes a different form, and it's important to know what you're dealing with.
Well, I shouldn't be saying this, but I'm going to say it. There's no El Nino this year. I think we're going to get hit this year. I mean, we've been due for a long time, but El Nino's been keeping it away from us. Now we don't have that. So I'm telling you, you need to write your phone number down because you don't want to. One thing I'm going to tell you about, and I've told people about our show all the time, you don't want to Google someone to find them. We have someone right here. We have a public adjuster right here, and our job is we want to make sure we have the best. You've been in business 16 years. That's a long time in your business. It seems like people are always opening up. Every day there's someone new opening up, but you've got the experience. Isn't your dad in with you also?
Yeah, so I'm fortunate.
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, so I'm fortunate enough to have my dad actually start the business. He's my mentor. Would not be doing what I'm doing right now today unless he was involved from the very beginning. So I learn everything I have from him, and he makes sure that I'm on my P's and Q's to make sure that we're doing all we can for that policyholder. So
you were involved with Wilma?
Yeah, towards the tail end of Wilma, we handled a bunch of claims with Wilma. But, I have to say, in my opinion, a good public adjuster can weather the time between storms, handling everything else that happens in the house, which is a lot more common than that 1 in 10 or 15-year storm.
Tell people about water damage restoration, leaks, all the things that you come in that you'll be able to get a lot more for them than they can on their own.
Yeah, and that's pretty important. It's a good question, good point. The idea if a residential home has a number of points of water, whether it be a toilet or a sink or a refrigerator line, those are the most common types of claims that I handle, water-related.
Okay.
Right. And then, of course, the roof that leaks. And, yes, of course, we handle fires and the vandalisms and the stuff like that. But that's really where you're more than likely going to have an insurance claim is some sort of water event.
But it also includes people who break into your house. And I'm going to tell you something, that's happening more and more often. We actually have a police officer 2 doors down from us, car's right in his driveway. His house got broken into. So no one's safe anymore. And you know what? As a homeowner, listen, you do this every day. They don't. I would not want to do this myself. And that was the whole purpose of this show, is to get a good public adjuster. Let's give everybody your phone number again.
Yeah, so you can reach me directly at area code 561-843-4040. And you're absolutely right. I tell people all the time, more than likely that home that they're insuring that now has a claim that I'm involved in could be the most important and largest asset in their portfolio. They would rather hire someone that's done it hundreds of times to ensure that they're going to get all that they're entitled to.
Tell us some of your success stories.
Yeah, those things are. Yeah, I can sit here all day long and tell you about how.
Well, I'm going to at least make you do it for the next 5 minutes. That's for sure. Because listen, people, unless something happens to them, they don't know or understand. And it's nothing against them. It's just they haven't done this like you have, doing this every day. So they really don't know.
Right. Yeah, and the idea is if you have a claim, I'd like to be involved from the very beginning. But sometimes we get involved after the homeowner gets their settlement paperwork from the insurance company and just don't understand it or don't feel as though that they've gotten enough. And those are when you can look on my website and see where, the initial claim settlement, one that comes to mind was, $18,000, and we ended up collecting over $600,000. So you have to think, where did that insurer go wrong in settling that claim?
But if they hadn't had you, they probably would have settled for the $18,000.
That's a fair statement.
Wow. And I like the fact that that something happened a year ago. Is there a free consultation?
Yeah, remember, we're only paid until you are.
Okay.
So we'll come in, and I do this often, where it just does not make sense for someone like myself to be involved in that claim. So we shake hands, we move on, and hopefully that person calls back.
Walk us through the process. They call you up, you come in, say they have a leak. You come in, you have to, do you hire the people who are going to fix the leak, or do they do that?
Yeah, so if I'm fortunate enough to be involved that early in the event, we want to make sure that the policy is protected and they stop the cause. So the homeowner will choose their own plumber to come out, stop the leak, do whatever needs to be done to save the parts, to show the insurance company.
Do you have plumbers that you rely on that you know are good?
The best thing that a public adjuster can do is just give a few names to the homeowner.
Okay.
Let that homeowner interview that particular contractor or plumber and ensure that that plumber or contractor is the right person from them.
See, my problem would be, who wants to wait that long? To interview people. I got a leak now. I got to get this taken care of. So I want people to write your phone number down, because you never know. Look at the rains we're having now. You just never know. And it's so good. This should be a phone number that's right next to all your emergency numbers. And that phone number is 561-843-4040. Lenny, again, I want you to take me through this. When you come in, how long is the process?
Yeah, the process sometimes can be lengthy because the insurance company, by statute, has 90 days to either deny, delay due to just cause, or pay your claim. So oftentimes an insurer does need that amount of time to do so.
They're going to do 90 days, aren't they?
More than likely, yeah, a lot of times they will. So my job is to make sure that I get everything off my desk so they can make that decision as quickly as possible. And some of the statutes state that a public adjuster has to write their estimate, they have to prove their claim, they have to give all the information to that insurance company to substantiate that claim, to make sure that that claim is paid in a quick and fair manner.
So do you let them, let's say if you come in the beginning, do you let them, the insurance company, tell your client how much they're going to give, and then you start up and see what it's going to take?
No, remember, that is all about the presentation of the claim. So in every claim, if I'm involved from the beginning, I'm making the appointment with the insurance company adjuster to meet them at the home, show them the damage, explain what had happened. A lot of times there's a statement that needs to be completed as part of the insurance company's investigation. That's something I'm involved in as well, making sure that the insured feels comfortable. I'm usually there, if not over the phone. And we answer the questions truthfully, honestly, and make sure that we give the story so that insurance company can make that decision.
Because let me tell you something, if you don't make them any money, you're not going to make a dime off of it.
That's how that relationship is flourishing.
We're going to go to break now. When we come back, I want to talk about mold and mildew removal, because that's pretty prevalent down here. So we'll be right back. The name of the company is Equitable Public Adjusters and Auto Appraisers.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the business.
Okay, well, we'll be right back.
Has your home suffered water damage, fire, or smoke damage? Call Equitable Public Adjusters at 561-843-4040. We will professionally handle your insurance claim with over 50 years of claims experience working for you, not the insurance company. Equitable Public Adjusters are not paid until you collect. If you're satisfied with your insurance settlement, great, but remember, Equitable Public Adjusters can report or reopen your claim. So what are you waiting for? Call Lenny at 561-843-4040 today.
And we're back. Well, we got a little bit of sun out right now, but that's not going to last long. It's supposed to rain today, tomorrow, Saturday. Do you get all excited when it rains?
Only when the roof's leak.
So I have one of the owners here, Lenny's with us. Their phone number is 561-843-4040. Go to their website. It will give you so much great information. It's www.equitablepublicadjusters, that's plural.com. This is drive time for a lot of people. They get out of their car. We've had them for 15 minutes now. We have a new set of people who come on. Again, tell people a little bit about your company.
Yeah, so my company was started over a decade ago, and it was only set up to handle insurance claims for homeowners. So we're hired to represent that homeowner.
So you don't do businesses, really?
We are licensed to handle a commercial claim, and we do from time to time.
But your main business is residential?
Residential property claims.
And you've been doing this for how long?
I've been licensed as an insurance adjuster for 16 years and handling claims with Equitable for over 10.
And your dad?
My dad founded a company a long time ago, and he's been handling claims for a generation as well.
Wow. So the name of the company is Equitable, and a lot of people, again, do not know what a public adjuster does. Doesn't make you're not stupid. Let me tell you something. About 2 years ago, I never even heard of a public adjuster, and a lot of people don't. They don't understand what their policy is about. So tell people what a public adjuster is.
Yeah, easily explained there's 3 different types of adjusters here in the state of Florida. One is what they call a staff adjuster. Those are ones that are hired and employed by the insurance company. Others are independent adjusters, and those are local, usually field staff that go out and are hired by insurance companies to represent their interest. And then the third is how I practice and make a living, which is as a public insurance adjuster, and we are only able to handle claims for the homeowner. So the exact opposite of the first two, which is handling claims for that homeowner.
What about termites? Are homes covered by termites?
Yeah, there's usually an exclusion in your homeowner's policy for that type of organism to be eating your structure. But oftentimes we'll have a rat, a raccoon, or something in an attic or in a wall, and now that raccoon or animal starts chewing on a pipe, and then that pipe breaks, and of course the resulting damage from that pipe breaking, which is the cause of that animal eating it, that's covered.
Okay. Mold and mildew. Big down here.
Yep.
What you've seen is, what do they try to get out of not paying when it comes to mold or mildew?
Yeah, so
because it has to do with the color is one way, and I want you to tell people how they would know if they have mold in their house.
Yeah, the mold endorsement on a policy, an insurance policy, is where you start. 99% of the policies I see only have a $10,000 limit. And that can be on a home that is several thousand square feet and more than likely not enough coverage.
Doesn't sound like enough.
There's a lot of abusers to the mold limit, restoration companies, so on and so forth. But ultimately, mold is the result of long-term water damage, one that's not even dried out in time, or possibly an area where you can't get to, behind a wall, in your ceiling,
around the air
in your
conditioning.
attics. Correct. So ideally, I tell everybody every single time, if you see the water damage, don't ignore that issue. Don't ignore that air conditioning leak or that plumbing leak underneath the kitchen sink. Resolve it, take care of the problem, and deal with the resulting damage. So
what
you
if
don't
you
have
get
to deal
sick
with that
from
mold.
it?
Yeah.
Is there any coverage for that? You've got to go to the hospital?
Yeah, the simple and easy answer to that is no.
Can't. Okay. You see all kind of insurance companies. Can you tell our listeners some of the better ones?
Yeah, so the better ones are the ones that you can afford, and the ones that are not changing their policy each and every year, which is kind of becoming a dying breed right now. So I tell each one of my customers when I'm done handling a claim, because they're always asking me that question, don't worry so much about the policy that you get, but if you have a claim, call. I'll take care of that. You don't have to worry about which ones are going to pay well, not enough, or on time. Let me worry about that. I'll handle the claim. You worry about the price.
So they don't really need to know who the best are. Just whoever you have now, work with them. But if you have any kind of damage to your property, they need to call you. What other are there any odd things out there that damages a home that a lot of homeowners don't realize that they are covered for?
Yeah, so terminology in my neck of the woods is what they call an all-risk policy. An all-risk policy is something that there are exclusions, but there are few, and everything that does not meet that exclusion is more than likely covered. So we realize and come across a lot of similar claims: kitchen leaks, dishwasher leak, air conditioning backup, roof leaks, fire, theft, things that are normally covered. But a lot of times there are things that you just really can't explain. But unless it's excluded, it's covered.
That's absolutely good to know. Now, someone's listening to this show now, and they've already hired a public adjuster. They're going, I like this Lenny. He really sounds like he knows what he's doing. Are you bound to your adjuster?
Yeah, earlier I mentioned how an adjuster will sign an agreement with that homeowner. And there are a few times in my career that the homeowner believes that they want to break that contract. I'm not a big advocate of that. My suggestion is work with that adjuster, ensure that they're doing all that they can do to help you. But if in that rare instance they need to break that contract, of course they could.
Can you come in and give a second opinion?
Again, there are a few times that I can do that, but it's definitely able to be done.
Because, I don't know, okay? They do, and, my adjuster's saying, yes, I can get this for you. But I'm wondering, I just heard this guy on Ask the Experts, and he really sounds like he knows what he's doing. Am I really being taken care of? So are you saying you do sometimes come in to give a second opinion, or you don't like to do that?
Yeah, just professional courtesy, more than likely no. But if you have a question, that's why the phone's there. Pick it up, call me. I'm happy to help.
Now, what if someone's already received a check?
Yeah, that's a good question. And here in Florida, if you receive the check and you're looking at that settlement, hopefully the paperwork that the insurance company gave you, and you have knowledge that it's going to be much more than what you received, absolutely love the phone call. I'll sit down, look at the damage in your home, look at the settlement paperwork, and if it makes sense for someone like myself to be involved, I'd love to be able to handle your claim.
How do you guys get paid again?
So we're paid on a contingent basis of what we collect when we handle your claim. So in the state of Florida, it's capped at 20% of whatever the public adjuster charges. In some instances, it could be even less than that.
So what determines what percent that you're going to charge? The most it can be is 20%.
That's correct.
So are there certain things that this is this percentage, or if I do this, are there different percentages for different damages?
Yeah, in my world, in my business, it's hard to say that this particular type of claim is a 15% or 10%. Every claim is different. Every claim has its own merits that have to be looked at, and you have to look at the insurance company that represents the homeowner. You have to look at the damage, the type of damage, where the damage ends and starts. And then, if you be fair with that homeowner and come up with a percentage that everybody's in agreement with, that's really where the relationship starts, and you go to work from there.
Well, the name of your company is Equitable Public Adjusters. Let's just say we do have a hurricane, and if it's going to happen, I think season starts in July sometime, but it really is October through October. That's the big part of the season. What do you do when you have so many people who are, cause I remember Wilma. It was horrible here. Do you have the staff to cover a lot of different homes?
Yeah, and that's really where the experience comes in. We're a complete paperless company, so we're able to handle a lot of volume. We do have an adjuster in Tampa area that obviously can come down if it hits on this coast. The idea of the type of appointments and the number of appointments that one can handle, it's almost endless. But you have to understand, if a storm hits us like Wilma did, things are just going to slow down. Insurance companies can only operate at such a capacity. So a typical claim were to handle within a month, it could take 6 months. And that's just completely understandable in my industry.
Well, one of our shows we do is a community association law firm. They're the biggest. They have over 800 individual homes and condos. Now, you mainly do residential. So if I own, say, 6 condos, is that considered commercial or is it considered residential?
Right. So think of that question as if you own that home or that condo and it's in your name, then that's actually a residential claim.
So they have to take care of that themselves. Has
That
no,
would be
not the owner of the whole complex.
Right. So that's a good question. Let me see if I can answer it a little bit better. If you live in a condominium association, you should have what they call an HO6 policy. That's the form. That's the type of policy you should have with your insurer. That typically is going to cover the finishings of your home. It's not going to cover the drywall, and it's not going to cover the floor and the roof. That's going to be the association's responsibility. So oftentimes I'll get calls where a homeowner has damage in their home, but it's also damage to drywall and some common property. And the association's telling that homeowner or condominium owner, hey, you have to pay for this. That's what our condominium documents say, and that's not true. There's a statute that states that if there's damage and both sides of that wall is damaged, again, condominium side and homeowner side, each respective entity has to take care of the property that they insure.
Well, we also have a lot of business owners listen to this show, and we actually had one of our listeners call it's about 3 weeks ago. Their business, the next door business, flooded out, which meant they got flooded out too. Now, do you handle things like that, or again, is that commercial and you normally don't handle commercial?
Yeah, absolutely.
Trying to send you some business, bro.
Yeah. So if you want to, get a percentage, about 90% of my claims that I handle are residential or condominium. The other 10% would be commercial. So yes, in that example, that would be a commercial claim, which we're licensed to do, and we're happy to help.
And that happens a lot. A business floods out, and the business next door gets a lot of the damage done to it. And the guy actually, I wish I'd have known you, because he said, I got to get a public adjuster. He said, because I don't know what I'm doing. And that's kind of the key. I don't know what I'm doing. Give everybody, this 30 minutes goes by fast. I told you. It does. Give everybody your website address.
So it's equitablepublicadjusters.com. You can call me direct at 561-843-4040.
And Lenny, listen, this is going to be a great show. I can already tell. Lenny's going to be back with us again next month. So get your questions. We're going to open it up next month to people who have questions. Remember, the name of the company is Equitable Public Adjusters, www.equitablepublicadjusters.com. Again, that phone number is 561-843-4040. And we will be back with you next Thursday with our homeowner show. Everybody have a great week. Peace and love. We're gone.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Experts show with Steve-O and Renee. Tune in every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. while some of the top local experts in their field from Broward and Palm Beach counties educate you in the areas of law, health, financial, and home improvement. You can also call our offices at 888-574-6999 to become an expert on our show. The opinions expressed on the